Prayer song.
गणनायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि.
Now, I request our convener, Dr. V.L. Nirmal Bhargavi, to address the gathering.
Good morning to everyone. A warm welcome to all our guests, teaching fraternity, research scholars. We are excited to have you here today for our national conference entitled Emerging Trends in Material Science, Unveiling New Materials and Sustainability. I feel privileged to open this event. A very special welcome to our chief guest, Dr. R.P. Vijayalakshmi ma'am, Professor and Head Department of Physics, SB University. Thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation. A warm welcome to our beloved HOD HAS, Dr. Komala ma'am, Professor of Mathematics, heads of various other departments, and my dear colleagues and students. This conference is dedicated to exploring different novel materials and their impact on society. The conference aims at fostering knowledge and sharing and collaboration among experts in the same field. We are grateful to have experienced, distinguished invited speakers who will enlighten us with their expertise. Today, we'll have a series of presentations from faculty and research scholars from various parts of our country, followed by interactive discussions. I appreciate you for coming forward to share your insights and ideas with the group. We look forward to a fruitful and engaging session. We encourage you all to participate actively. Let us make this conference a grand success. Thank you.
Now, I request our HOD HAS, Dr. K. Komala ma'am, Professor of Department of Maths, to share a few words.
A very good morning to all of you. First, I thank our respected Vice Chairman sir and beloved Principal sir to accept to conduct this nation level conference. So nowadays, all the science people, they are very much interested about to explore about their innovations about in the new materials. Definitely in this platform, that means in national level conference, all researchers and industry people and sciences, they will share their new ideas, how they are transforming the materials in the new era. Definitely that will be benefited to us. That's why we gathered here. They will shape our new future in our future how the material science will be placed the advancement of their technologies. So please be interactive in the sessions, and definitely this conference will be useful in your research areas. Thank you for all giving this opportunity. Thank you.
Now I invite Dr. V. Nirupama, co-convener, to introduce the guest to the audience.
Good morning. Welcome you all. Today is my honor to introduce Dr. R.P. Vijayalakshmi, a distinguished professor and the head of the Department of Physics at Sri Venkateswara University in Tirupati, India. Since beginning her career in condensed matter physics, in 1899, ma'am has made a significant contributions in the field of with a particular focus on nanostructures and nanocomposite materials. Her pioneering research explores the development of nanomaterials for a variety of applications with current emphasis on photocatalytic materials. She has synthesized an impressive array of nanostructures through advanced techniques including chemical vapor deposition, hydrothermal process, sol gel methods, and chemical co-precipitation. Her work deals into areas of a dilute magnetic semiconductors and photocatalytic materials, which are a forefront of innovation. Over her illustration career, Dr. Mam has guided 15 PhD scholars and 4 MPhil students to completion. She has also successfully executed 4 research projects funded by esteemed bodies such as University Grants Commission and Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. Dr. Vijayalakshmi influence extends beyond her laboratory. She has delivered over 30 invited lectures at national and international conferences and refresh courses. Additionally, she has organized 4 national and 2 international conferences featuring the collaboration and further and knowledge sharing in her field. Her prolific publication record includes over 100 articles in high impact journals, with her work receiving more than 2,500 citations. She holds an H index of 24 and an I-10 index of 40, reflecting high record in which her research had held globally. Currently, Dr. Vijayalakshmi serves as a director of Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center at Sri Venkateswara University, where she continues to inspire and lead next generation of research and educators. Please join me in welcoming this remarked scientist, mentor, and leader, Dr. Vijayalakshmi ma'am. Thank you for accepting our invitation, ma'am. Thank you so much. You are being here. Thank you.
Now I request our chief guest, Dr. R.P. Vijayalakshmi, professor in SV University Tirupati, to address the gathering. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Nirupama, for introducing me in a very nice manner. Dr. Nirmala Bhargavi, convener of the conference. Dr. Nirmala Nirupama, co-convener. Dr. Komala, head Department of Physics. Dr. Madhumohan from Mohan Babu University, and other guests and invitees, faculty from Sri Venkateswara Engineering College, and research scholars, my dear student friends. Pleasant morning to all of you. Today I am here to explore knowledge what I have in the field of material science. You all know the materials are PowerPoint present chestara. So you all know the materials are playing very important role in our day-to-day life. So we can see we have the lot of material. Without there is no material means there is no possibility of the present day technology. All the technological innovations and the devices what you are using
Okay. So what you are using are by using materials only. So here, so what are the type of materials we can see? So we have the metals, plastics, polymers. We have so many materials what you are using in the day-to-day life. So we can see the kinds and the other things also. All these things are by the materials only. So what I wanted to say here is the materials are playing very important role for the technology and for our well-being also. So in this one, so from our, when you take the floor, when you take any material, all these things are made up of some type of materials only. So in this one, when you see all these things, when you have the polymers, we have the plastics. When you have the tiles, these are the ceramic materials. So when you have the glass, those are prepared in terms of the glass. So like this, we have the different types of materials we are using in the day-to-day life. So we can see the classification of the materials. So we can classify the materials in terms of ceramics, polymers, metals, glasses, so on and so forth. So all these things are come under the what are the different types of materials what you can have and use. So this is the classification, how you can classify the materials. We can classify materials as a metals and non-metals. In this one also, we can classify the metals in terms of depending upon the materials which you induce in that one. We have different types of materials. So we can, when you take the properties of materials, the properties, we can have the physical property, chemical property, and the mechanical properties. So all these are the different properties of the materials. So these properties playing very important role to use those materials in a particular purpose. So the purpose what you are using the material, that is decided by the what is the property is possessing. Basing on that one, we can use the material in a different form in different ways in the technology. So when you go back to the actual inventions of the different materials, so in the 18,000 BC, that means before Christ era, so the copper was invented. In the year 16,000, 6,500, we have the concrete and the glass and the iron and the steel. So these are all the old inventions as for the material point of view is concerned. So when you take the other metals, when you take the titanium, so this titanium is a very important material. So when you take any implant for types of the actually when you have the in types of these wounds, so in the knee replacement, all these things, the titanium is a very important material. So therefore all these things we are using titanium. So the semiconductors. So semiconductors are the important material. So those changed the technological. So this is a very important area. 1940 is the important era. So before that one, so when you take any device, all these devices are made up of valves. We have the diode valve, triode valve, tetrode valve, pentode valve. So like that, all the devices are in terms of the valves. So after the semiconductor, the technology changes, then we have the transistors. So we can see that one also. So another important invention as per the technological advancement point of view is the fiber optics. So for communication, what we are doing is we are using the optical fibers. So that is also one is the important technological advancement. Then in the year, other than that one, we have in the year 1980, we have the nanomaterials. So before that one also, we have the nanomaterials. But the actually the size of the nanomaterials, you know, it is in terms of the 1 nanometers to 100 nanometers. So the size detection is not the instruments to detect that size is not there before 1980. After 1980 only, atomic force microscopy, scanning probe, microscopy, all these technological developments took place so that we can read about the materials. So when you take the actually what are the number of atoms in a actually when you take 1 centimeter cube, so that we can call that one as a Avogadro number, that is 6 into 10 power 23. So before 1980, what is the point is, so we can say the Avogadro number is that one by theoretical calculation. So now what you can do is we can read atom by how many atoms are present in 1 centimeter cube. We can read atom by atom by using the atomic force microscopy and scanning tunneling microscopy. So that is the technological advancement after 1980. So with respect to nano materials. So in this one, so what I wanted to say you is, so in the 19th century, so the computers are in terms of the walls. So I already mentioned you, so we have the diode wall, tetrode wall, pentode wall, like that. So in the case of the transistor, what you are using now, so now you know only the emitter, base, collector, and integrated circuits. So we have the most, so many chips are using now. So earlier we don't have all these things. Only after the semiconductor technology only we have all these devices. Before that one we have the valves only. So the first generation computer is in terms of the valves. So next one after 1950, so the transistor was invented by Bardeen, Breton and Shockley. These are the three scientists belongs to Bell Telephone Laboratories. They designed and invented the transistor. So in the case of the transistor, we have the emitter, base and collector. So then the technology changes in a random manner. Before 1950, the technology is up to only some extent. After 1950, the technology changes drastically after invention of the transistor by these three scientists. Then in the year 1960, the chip designs were took place by using the semiconductors. So why I am telling all these things means, so how the technological advancement took place basing on the materials synthesis and material development. So that means the materials development is a very important thing for the society, because to develop the technology. So my intention is how the technology depends on the material, that I wanted to explain you. So in the 1970, after, so we have the 1960, we have the integrated chips, and in the year 1970, we have the microprocessors, and now we have so on, and so we have the large, very large scale integrated technology, and we have now we have the quantum computing. We have the qubits and all. We in that mind in the earlier up to 24th. So here now in the 20th century also, so up to 2024 we have the memory is in terms of the bits, zeros and ones. So now that is zero is different and one is different. Now we have the memory devices are in terms of the qubits. Qubits means zero and one is only in a one state, that is the qubits, that is in terms of the entanglement, that is the actually the present technology. So here these are the actually the we have the what I mentioned earlier. So we have the vacuum tube. So that is the vacuum tube. So those are all the transistors, and we have the integrated circuit and the microprocessors and quantum computing. So here the first generation computer is a big size of this room. That is because it is made up of walls. So in the next generation, that is also in terms of the walls only, but the size is reduced. Then after that one, after invention of the transistors, that is the Bardeen, Button and Shackley, so the size of the computers randomly decrease in the third generation and the fourth generation. Now in the at present, what you are doing is we can see everything in our phone also. So how this is happening? This is happening because of the materials only. So the design and development of materials are changing the actual instruments and the technology and the devices what you are using to do. All these developments are because of the development of the new materials and the new inventions. So that means the materials are playing very important role to design and development of the new and the fast instruments. Those are all depends upon the material inventions. Because of that one, all you people have to go. This research is a progressive field, so all have to work on the development of the materials to develop the technology like that. So like this, we have the different things like this. So in this one, we have the tape recorder. When you take the tape recorder and the television, and before 1950, all those devices are this much big, because in that one we have the vacuum tubes only. That means we have the diode one. We have the anode and cathode and grid. That is the elements that were there in the case of the vacuum tubes and all. So anode, cathode is a diode, anode, cathode and grid. One is a triode. Tetrode means we have another grid. Pentode means. So because all these modifications took place only to amplify the signals. So we are giving the input a material and we are taking the output. So this is this purpose is why you are using the transistors means switching and amplification purpose we are using. So that means we wanted to magnify the signal, we will use the amplifier. So when you want to off and on the signal, we will use the switch. So this transistor acts as a switch and the amplification of the signal. So earlier the thing is by in terms of the triode wall, the amplification and switching is in terms of the triode and diodes and tetrodes and pentodes. So that means the collection and the entering and collection is there. But now it is in terms of the, then after 1950, it is in terms of the emitter, base and collector, so that the signal process took place and the amplification process is also like the by the transistors after 1950. So that is because of that reason by the tape recorders are made in terms of the actual wall, so that the size is very big. So then the size is reduced. So that means when you take the integrated chip, so in that one, all elements, when you take the transistor, when you take the diode, when you take the capacitor, when you take the resistor, everything is in terms of the only in a simple chip. So like that, the technology changes. How this has happened? Because of the materials only. So in all these chips and integrated technology, main material is semiconductors. The semiconductor is mostly in terms of the silicon. Silicon is a very good material. So you can form the silicon in any form, whatever form you want. You can use the silicon as a semiconductor. You can use the same silicon as an insulator. You can use the same silicon as a conductor also by changing the doping profile in a particular. So because when you take the germanium and silicon, these are the two elemental semiconductors what we have present also. In that one, the germanium is not robust to for practical point of view is concerned, but the silicon is a very robust material, so that almost in the almost all integrated technology, the material that is used to develop the all types of chips is a silicon only. Silicon is a good material. Then we have the so many compound composite semiconductors are also there, but the silicon is a very good material, so that we can use that one for the so many purpose. So what is the actually the this is about the silicon, the elemental materials. We have the silicon, germanium. So how you can see the devices in terms of the so another one important thing is the memory storage devices. The memory storage devices are in terms of the magnetic bubbles. The magnetic bubbles are in terms of the ferromagnetic material. The first material that was invented as the magnetic bubble is a ferrite. It was also invented by the Bell Telephone Laboratories when they are working on the ferrites. So they suddenly observed one phenomena. So when a magnetic field applied to a magnetic material, the magnetic material is shrinks into a small region. That region they named that one as a magnetic bubble. So when it is shrinks to a small area, what is happening is we can store the large amount of the data in a small area. So like that, they used the magnetic bubbles to store the data. So till now also we have the magnetic bubbles and CMOS technology, that is complementary metal oxide semiconductor field effect technology, that is also used. So we can see any device, this device is in terms of the CMOS technology. CMOS technology means what I mentioned earlier, transistors. In the case of the transistors, we have the bipolar junction transistors, field effect transistors, metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistors. So in all these storage devices, what they are using is still today the metal oxide field effect transistors, because they are complementary. So in the case of the metal oxides, we can have the P channel and the N channel. So we can make the P channel into N channel and N channel into P channel within the same device, so that they are named as a complementary metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistors. So that is the technology they are using till today to store the data in the case of the computers. But we can use the magnetic bubbles also to store the data by using the magnetic materials like orthoferrates, because in that one we can store large amount of the data in a small area. That is also one point. So now in the 25th 2025 onwards, we are going to use qubits. So that means the quantum computing devices. So what I mentioned earlier, in this one we have the zeros and ones earlier. We have in the case of the digital technology, the data is stored in terms of the zeros and ones. In the case of qubits, because of the entanglement, and 1 is only in the same state. So like that, because of the entanglement, when you entangle the two photons, when one is in this place, one other one is in the Tirupati, you can share the data from this place to that place because of the entanglement. That is the thing that is happening, that is going to happen also. That is in terms of the quantum computing, that is in terms of the qubits. So that means that is the quantum technology. So here, what is actually the why you want to go for the actual this thing? So enabling technological advancements and driving scientific discovery. These are all the addressing global. So addressing the global challenges is also a very important thing, because why you want to do all these things to address the challenges only. So why you won't go for innovations? Why you go for technology? All these things are because of the societal addresses. So all these things are for only to the people who's living in the society. Why you are going to develop all these things? So who is using this technology benefits? The people who are living in the society, they are using the technological. So that means the addressing the challenges of the society is also a very important need of the day for the scientists. So here the quality of life is improvement is also very important. So that is also to be addressed. And what is the economic growth of the is also to be need of the day. And interdisciplinary. So we have to for address the many problems. So we have the physics means physics alone cannot understand about the life sciences data. And so when you go for interdisciplinary manner, we can understand the actual biological activity, and we can understand the material science activity also when you go for the interdisciplinary manner, so that you can develop the better technological instruments and innovations. Because when you have the idea about the life sciences and the physical sciences, so that now the government and the world is focusing on the interdisciplinary research, because interdisciplinary subjects. So when in the case of the new NEP also, so what is the main intention of the new NEP is a person who study the engineering, he can go for the medical field also. The medical field, those who are studying the medical field, they can also join for the engineering, and the humanities people also going for the engineering subjects and all. So any